Newcastle Knights warm favourites as we look across Marathon Stadium. This is about as bright as it has been all afternoon here. There's been some showers throughout the afternoon. The surface, though, remarkably dry considering a great amount of rain during the week, and another great wrap for the supporters of Newcastle. They are the best in the league and they've turned up in great numbers again today. Of course, today won't be the last match they play here. They will be hosting a final at some stage. Mal really, though, very much in the hearts of the Newcastle people, and both Mario and I had a chat with Mal before the match, and he's excited about the weeks ahead. As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time. Again, they've got their alternative strip, the yellow and the blue. Kerrod Walters leading this side out, his last match for the Rams. Let's have a look at their starting lineup for today. And from the back, a mixture of some experienced players and some young up-and-comers, the likes of Rod Jensen on the wing and Dion Bird at fullback, Harves Williamson and Goldthorpe, and a pack, as I mentioned, Kerrod Walters captain of this forward pack that more often than not has finished on the wrong side of the ledger through 1998. And now we stand by for the Newcastle Knights. Oh, it must be around the 23, maybe 24,000. Andrew Johns is the captain. There is only two players in this Newcastle side today who started in last year's grand final. Andrew Johns is one of them. Tony Butterfield is the other. Let's run through that side, and only the keenest Newcastle supporters will know some of these players. Jason Allen at fullback, Sean Rudder, a newcomer, on the wing, Jason Mooney and Denny Baderis in the centres, and Evan Cochran on the other wing. Gidley and Johns the halves, the forwards, Pinchinelli, Shields, Lomax, Grief, Jackson, and Tony Butterfield, the experienced man up front. At 32 years of age, Mario, he made his State of Origin debut this year.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a no-frills type front rower. Very motivating to watch him play, Butterfield. He takes it up, straight up the middle. He doesn't muck around either, Butterfield, and no doubt all the players respect him. He needs to perform today. They need to win this game.
Moghseen Jadwat, the referee for this one. We're underway. The Rams running from right to left on your screens for the first half. And it is Butterfield who carries back and met and put the ground 15 metres out from his own line. The first man there was Pearce. Now following up is Glenn Grief. A lot of responsibility falls back onto these experienced players, the likes of Butterfield and Grief. Now Shields. He's had an exceptional season. As far as the 30-metre line, Grimley was a little slow to clear the tackle. Now this is David Lomax. Put the ground quickly. The Rams defence hunting up early. They'll kick before the last with Andrew Johns.
In these conditions, it's very important to complete your sets of six. Steady as she goes for Newcastle. You see Dion Bird bring the football back. You make mistakes, you'll get beat today.
Dion Bird, another player understood to be headed off to England at the completion of this match, and I think he's headed for the same club as Kerrod Walters. Kerrod Walters, gate centres. Now the big defence comes in, and it's Johnson, the man who lifts up in the tackle on Adam Peake, just a youngster in this Rams side. Now Mike Rabita's got sideline duties today. You've got to say conditions fairly good.
Yes, Andrew, as far as the pitch is concerned, in very, very good conditions indeed. The Knights, of course, decimated through injury as far as this side is concerned. Interesting too to Andrew Johns today, captaining the side such at a young age and also playing his 100th game for the Newcastle Knights. Great responsibility on young shoulders.
Adelaide Rams with their first kick of the day. Newcastle Knights side a little slow to get back. Evan Cochran gets a touch straight into the arms of Walters. Also there is Mark Corvo. Newcastle position just beyond their 30-metre line. Slow play the ball, and Jadwat penalises the Rams.
Well, no doubt Adelaide will look to slow down the play of the ball. Newcastle, that's what they want to achieve. They're going to roll that ball as quickly as possible. There's Andrew Johns there. So Newcastle will have the football just before the halfway line. So nice attacking opportunity now for Newcastle.
And up come the Knights, inside Rams territory with Butterfield. Now 45 metres out from the Adelaide line. They can go right or left. Grief with another hit up through the first attempted tackle. That was from Peake. And now Jackson. A scurry from dummy half for 10 metres. Lee Jackson coming good in the latter part of the season for the Knights. And centrefield, Moody and Johns turning to pass. Gidley is there. The defence was up and Gidley's away from Grimley. Head on with Allen. In fact, it's Baderis. Gets it inside the Rams 20. Back for Johns. Rams in trouble here. Touched in flight. It goes outside. Jadwat says play on. Oh boy, Jason Allen scores. Now Jadwat will check with a touch judge. I had a feeling it travelled forward off one hand. Jason Allen has claimed the try, but the number's not in the frame yet.
Here it is, here's the replay.
Well, Mario, it's an interesting one because the video referee can't rule on forward passes. Now, Jadwat has basically said, was it knocked forward? So, I mean, it's just a minor point, but it's a big one. And I'm sure there's a hand in there from a Knights player before it gets to Jason Allen.
This is the critical period here. There's the nice pass there by Andrew Johns. Yeah, oh, it's touch and go for mine, Andrew. I think that that might be even a try for mine.
Oh, well, gee, I hate to disagree with you, Mario. In fact, I like disagreeing with you, to be quite honest, but I think it had to travel forward.
No try.
And no try. I've got to go along with that decision. There's no drama from me on that one.
Well, even though there was no try, Andrew, danger signals for this Adelaide side. They moved the ball wide very effectively, Newcastle. Now we'll see Adelaide with the football some 10 metres out from their own line.
Well, our Sydney viewers especially might have been anticipating some wet weather football today. But the ground remarkably dry, and Newcastle showing early that they're prepared to really spread the football. And Adelaide's defence very much stretched. There's now Goldthorpe and Williamson combined. The Rams just outside their 20. He entered today on 14 competition points as Walters makes 15 metres, good metres for him. Now 5 short of halfway. And back in field, Corvo, the man who hits it up. He leads that count for the Rams this year, as he did last year. He was their player of the season in '97. Across with Pearce. Determined hit up to the Newcastle 40. Last tackle it is for Adelaide. And Goldthorpe, it's been a reassuring set of 6 for Adelaide. A settling set of 6 after that scare, the almost try.
Coach Dean Lance has got this Adelaide side playing some pretty good football there. There's Goldthorpe there, who's going to be critical for this Adelaide side if they're going to do any good in this game. Nice kick, finds the sideline. That way Adelaide can regroup, get themselves set. Newcastle will get the football about 20 metres out.
All set to the open side here, the Newcastle Knights. And this is up with Sean Rudder. Thrill for him off the bench last week against the Tigers, now on the starting side, and Gidley is with him. Just 21 years of age, yet he's one of the, you could almost say, veterans of this side today that they're fielding. Now Butterfield. Goldthorpe went high to wrap up the ball. Corbo was low. The Knights on their own 30. Infield with Lomax. Some rugged defence. They'll need to prevent the offloads, though, Adelaide. And now Jackson. Right with Johns, deciding to run. Almost through the tackle of Walters. Now away from Kerrod. Captured there by Rod Jensen. Good signs to see Johns willing to run. Kick comes in from Jason Allen. He stepped over the 40-metre line. Difficult bounce there from Matt Daylight. Fielded by Vidaris and then put down by Gidley.
Oh, it was almost the try of the year. The ball bounced back. The Newcastle player didn't pick him up, couldn't quite hold on to the football. Oh, that would have been the try of the year as they move it wide, Adelaide.
Now the Rams, their counter-attack. It was Vidaris on to Gidley, who only got a mitt to it. Let's watch it again, the bounce. Matt Daylight, a real nightmare for him. There was going to be a free run to the try line for Matthew Gidley. Corvo comes out of trouble for the Rams.
What a quality player Vidaris is proving to be, Andrew. We haven't seen too much of him, but he's been involved in 2 breaks so far in this game, and he's obviously a player to watch.
Kerrod Walters, there's detected a knock on there. This will be a Newcastle feed inside the Rams 40. There's Denny Vidaris. He was listed today to start at fullback. He's had runs at hooker in the halves and now filling in the centres.
This is what you don't do if you want to win a game. There's a mistake there now. Newcastle, ideal attacking opportunity. Andrew Johns feeds a scrum. Out it comes Newcastle.
Comes away for Gidley. And a second man play, bringing Allen into the action. It was well read by the defence. Grimley was waiting.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, that was well held by Allen. That was a hospital pass.
Stunned him to the tackle. He's back down again as a result of this tackle from Grimley. Clean shot on him. And now back with the action. Grief with an offload. It comes loose. The Rams with it. Daylight got to the loose ball. And still problems for young Allen. He's going rather gingerly back to fullback. Goldthorpe. Cut out ball with Apo. On their own 40. Walters, slow play of the ball, and now allowing the Newcastle defence up on Corvo. And the Rams earn a penalty. This time it's Moody, who in the eyes of Jadwat has infringed.
The important thing for a side like Newcastle, they made a couple of clean breaks. We had a try, no try ruled. they can't get carried away. They've got to give this Adelaide side the respect they deserve. They can really hurt them with players like Walters. They move the ball wide.
And through goes Doherty. 20 metres out and inside, and here come the Rams. Dean Skiffalidi strolls away to score. Well, that is a shot.
Well, it was a set play, and I tell you what, it worked to perfection. Coach Dean Lance would have worked hard on that throughout the week. As I was saying, as the break was made, you just can't underestimate a side like the Adelaide side. They've got nothing to play for, but it's the last game. Here's a set play here. Nice wide play by Kieran Walters. Another wide pass, straight through the gap there. That was Darian Doherty, and then Skiffalidi, who's been around for an age, scores straight underneath the post.
Line pass it was from Goldthorpe to Doherty. It was called play on. And Doherty running to the gap, and then it was a selection of players he could pass it to. Skiffalidi was the lucky man who got the 20-metre scamper to the try line. Headed off to Parramatta next season, Dean Skiffalidi. And now this man. What a season he's had after linking up with the Rams. He was dumped by the Canberra Raiders. He sits right now with a healthy points tally this season, Graham Appo. And his first kick of the day from right in front takes his tally for the year to 128. And the Rams 6 over the Knights 0. And 9 minutes of play here at Marathon Stadium, and well worth having a look at this try again. Mike, you cover plenty of Newcastle matches this year. That sort of try early, what will that do to them?
Well, that's one of their traits this year, Andrew, is the fact that the Knights have been behind in so many of their games early. They've been a try down, a couple of tries down, and they've not panicked. It's a familiarity this year in their game, and one of the traits they've had where they haven't panicked, they've just gone on with it. Peter Shields was the player that had just moved up out of the line then, creating that gap, and if they have had a problem, it's around that ruck area, and that time it was well exploited.
In the meantime, a Rams penalty greeted with plenty of jeers from the Knights fans. And does Corvo lose it cold, or was it reefed away? Oh, I think you've got to blame Lee Jackson for that. Penalty justified.
Yeah, now we see this Adelaide side with another pretty good attacking opportunity. They've got a bit of confidence. They move the ball straight wide.
Ticketies stumbled to the 40-metre line. Now Walters. And the ruck plays happening with Goldthorpe back for Peake. He was straight back to his feet. Just short of halfway, and the Rams up by 6. Now Walters, they swing to the left with Pearce. Inside Knights territory. Peter Shields, the man over the top in defence. Markers weren't standing square as Goldthorpe gets it away for Doherty. Recently re-signed with the Rams for next season. Again, a second challenge. Newcastle penalised.
Well, that'll do me, Andrew. That was a professional foul. Obviously, Jadwat bought it. Let's have a look at the replay.
Banderas is the player.
Well, mate, he's had a go at the referee there, and full credit goes to Darian Doherty, because they get the football now. They go wide now.
This is Pearce, centre field. 25 out from the Newcastle line. Full set of 6 to work with. Corvo attracting the defenders in. Shields wrapping up the ball with Jackson. And now Walters to the open side. Goldthorpe on for Williamson. Wasn't a good pass. For a moment there, I thought it may have hit the deck. And still on the Newcastle 20, Walters running. And passing for Dion Bird, able to offload. Back with Pearce. 10 metres out from the line, the Newcastle defence stood back. We're waiting to see what Pearce had in mind. Now Walters to the right with Skiffalidi as first receiver. Now Goldthorpe, he's got 3 on his outside. Doherty angled inside, back for Williamson. The Rams in search of a second try. Skiffalidi offloads for Peake, and the second try is there. Oh, this is stunning from the Adelaide Rams. Well, the Newcastle Knights are on the ropes. 12 minutes gone, and it's Adelaide 10, Newcastle 0. Take the try scorer.
The alarm bells are ringing, Andrew. I tell you what, Newcastle expected to win this game. As we said before the game started, there's the play there. That's where the danger lies. They've just underestimated this Adelaide side. It's the last game today. They've got nothing to lose, Adelaide. As we can see by this footage, nice offload there, and they are absolutely stunned. There's Skiffalidi there, showing the football. That's a nice try, and the crowd is absolutely stunned.
Well, it's a case of Newcastle just not matching up in defence. Good footwork from Williamson. And Skiffalidi closest to the loose ball. And Adam Peake thrill for him in front of such a big crowd to come up with a 4-pointer. First try of his career too.
Let's not forget, Andrew, that Newcastle must win this game. If they're going to have next weekend off, this game is critical. And at the moment, it's the little men, blokes like Walters and Skiffaletti, that are really causing Newcastle plenty of problems.
Well, the situation for Newcastle looking a little desperate in goal. And the situation overall with the win of Melbourne last night, that pushed them ahead on for and against ahead of Newcastle. So heading into today, Newcastle are third on the ladder. And Appo, his second kick, successful. So 2 out of 2 to Graham Appo. And 12 points to nil is the scoreline. You're reading it right. The Rams, they were thrashed last week. 36-0 by the Bears. A performance that Dean Lance labelled disgraceful. And here they are leading the Knights 12-0, and some enterprise shown in the scoring of this second try. A restart of play. Rams back in possession. And Kerrod Walters. Boy, they got their tails up now, Adelaide. In Goldthorpe. Cross with Pearce. Well handled there by Gidley. Skiffaletti assumes the role of dummy half. Goldthorpe turning inside. Teague is the man.
Well, there's a bit more desperation in the Newcastle defence, a bit more physical contact. Newcastle know they're in a game now, 12 points to nil.
Luke Williamson carries beyond the 40-metre line, so a chance to get a kick in from inside the 40. Goldthorpe has gone over that mark, and he's certainly got the distance to achieve a 40-20. Touch there by Allen. That puts the chasers onside. So back comes Allen and met by Appo. And back he goes to the 10-metre line. Suddenly it's the Rams aiming up. And this is Rudder. Appo has hold of him, taking him across field. And the Knights play still getting back onside. Cochran. Fans not happy with the 10 metres. Second chance there on Cochran. I think the point is right. There are a few players standing in front of Jadwat. He can only look one way though, as Jackson comes away for Shields. And Peter Shields is through the first line. And through on the inside. Second tackle on Shields. The big man goes down, so another penalty to Newcastle.
Well, I disagree with that penalty as well. I think we saw Shields just dive forward. I didn't think it had anything to do with the Adelaide player. Let's have a look at the replay there. Oh, he's had hold of him by the jumper, but I must say, good luck to Shields. He's got away with it, but I felt it was a professional foul.
Well, there was a hand on the jumper. Again, I have to disagree with you, Mario. Is this going to happen all afternoon?
No, it won't.
Here's Gidley, up for Butterfield.
Back it up, Adelaide.
Gidley turning inside with Badderas. Low on the tackle was Pearce, 30 metres out from the Adelaide line, and Jackson darting away from dummy half. Doherty had slipped in defence. That opened a gap there for Jackson, which he tried to exploit. Now Badderas, Johns, they're threatening the Knights. Inside ball, and Badderas again for Gidley. Man on his outside was Butterfield. He overran the play. Back with Lomax. They're keeping it alive, the Newcastle Knights. It was touched in flight. Tackle count restarts for Newcastle. They're on the Adelaide 20.
Let's see what Newcastle can do here. They just can't panic in this situation. They've got to make sure they utilise their set of 6. They're going to go left, Andrew.
Jackson. Lomax and Johns. Cut out ball, a risky one. Fielded by Badderas. Weaving his way back towards the goalposts. 5 out. Scooped up by Allen. Johns, who's inside. It comes back there for Badderas. Unloading for O'Doherty. 5 metres out from the line. Newcastle Knights, it was Jackson. I got O'Doherty off the bench somehow. Johns, long ball. There it is for Rudder. Rudder scores for the Knights. Oh, Andrew Johns, he's as valuable as Vegemite to this Newcastle side, and serves it up for Rudder to score.
Isn't he worth his weight in gold, Andrew Johns? His ability to throw a long pass is second to none. Now, I'll tell you what, Adelaide were hanging in very well in defence. There's the ball go wide there. This bloke here, Badderas, what about his footwork? Looked all set to score. There's the play of the ball there. What's this pass here? Bullet-like pass. Straight over there. That is Sean Rudder. We haven't seen too much of Rudder, but he's gone over for an early try, and that brings Newcastle back into it.
Well, Johns enjoying the role of captaincy. He's put his stamp on this match early, as you would expect. And Rudder benefits from that, as it was for Adam Peake just a short time ago. Rudder gets his first career try in first grade. And in front of his home fans as well, I'm sure he'll remember that one. And his first kick of the day from just a metre in from the sideline. And outside the 20, Andrew Johns, the crowd a hush, but across the face. So 8 points is the margin here in Marathon. Rams over the Knights 12 points to 4. And one to savour, Mike. The work here of Andrew Johns involved very heavily.
Well, his passing is absolutely wonderful, as you both said, and Jackson didn't panic here, and I think this was a good move by Jackson. They've been at times guilty of popping that pass. Look at that bullet. Jensen was well out of position. The slide didn't come from Adelaide, and that'll be a try young Sean Rudder remembers for a long time.
Williamson restarts for the Adelaide Rams. And now the Newcastle Knights with an 8-point deficit to overcome. Jason Allen short of the 20. Just a little worried at some of the play the balls. Adelaide are running a very fine line. They're really pressing the issue, taking time to clear away from the ruck. Again, there you see Andrew Hick on Jason Moody. And now Pinchinelli. Ridden to ground there by Grimley. Jackson turns him to the right. Butterfield. And Johns, some quick hands there for Moody. Trying to ignite them again. Jackson taking off. Rod Jensen over the top on Jackson. He's come in from the left wing. And Andrew Johns on the last tackle, kicking from his side of halfway by a matter of a metre or two. And daylight from his own goal line. Now he's a speedster in this Adelaide side. He's got plenty of chasers there from Newcastle. And Metten put down by the first man.
A better set by Newcastle. They play the balls far quicker than it has been. Adelaide allowing this Newcastle side to play the football quickly, and that's danger.
Walters. Outside play for Doherty. So we've got Doherty in the Rams side and O'Doherty in the Newcastle lineup. And Corvo carries over the 30-metre line. And now with Walters. No ground to be made from dummy half. The markers have done their job. Neil Pinchinelli. What a valuable buy he has been for the Newcastle Knights. Williamson kicking on the last tackle from inside the 40. Bounces nicely for Allen. And back he will come. Wall of Rams defenders. Good shot from Doherty on Allen.
Wasn't that a good tackle? I'll tell you what, they brought their football boots this Adelaide Rams side as we see Newcastle now. You can hear the cheers from the crowd. Newcastle get a penalty right on the halfway line. There goes Andrew Johns. That's a great kick as well. Newcastle penalty 30 metres out from the Adelaide line.
Test of character too, this for the referee, the young bloke Jadwat, in front of these fans because they are booing everything from Adelaide, putting pressure on for penalties. Moody, good footwork. 10 metres out from the Rams line. They're set big time to the left. And the slow play the ball. Jackson for Johns. Skips out Gidley with a pass, finding Pinchinelli. On that occasion, it probably needed to go through the hands. Now Baderas. Back in field. Shields, 10 metres out from the Rams line. Newcastle trail by 8. Jackson for Johns. They're standing back waiting on Johns. Moody coughs it up. Into the arms of Rod Jensen. Unexpected really, the let off there for Adelaide, and Hick carries over the 10-metre line.
And it was another bullet-like pass by Andrew Johns. There's Jadwat there, he's called time off. Couldn't quite handle the football, Moody. I'll tell you what, this Adelaide side are defending very, very well. As we see, oh, they're signalling for a stretcher.
Jared O'Doherty's the player. This is just another tragedy. Calling for the stretcher straight away. The left leg, or the more specific, the left knee, the problem. This horrific run of injuries. Let's watch how it happened to Jared O'Doherty. He's the man who goes low in the tackle.
He just seems to peel away. He's the player that's fallen away.
Well, he either got clipped by his teammate Rudder over the top, or the man carrying the football, Andrew Hick. It's almost as if he was some unwanted cargo on that run.
And I tell you, that's the last thing that Coach Malcolm really would like to see. Another player being stretchered from Marathon Stadium. They need all the help they can get, Newcastle. And there's another good quality player gone. Let's have a look at the other angle on this. Pretty difficult to see. There's players' bodies everywhere, but no, that's terrible bad luck for this young player.
So Jared O'Doherty, one would think that's the last we're going to see of him today. And yet another tragedy for this Newcastle side. I don't think they've got time to run through their injury list. The likes of Darren Albert. We saw Owen Craigie down in the rooms before the match with a brace on his knee. Matthew Johns on the injured list. The Chief, as the Rams now back in possession, and Gailey, a good offload. Promoting again through Skifalidi and Hick. Just outside their own 20. Walters with it, turning inside for Skifalidi. Nice ruck play. Corvo running some big men at some unsuspecting markers.
Look, it's the last game, and this Adelaide side are having some fun. Walters, Skifalidi, they're moving the football. Goldthorpe wants the ball at every opportunity.
Now Walters. Again, the marker's not right on the case. And Kerrod Walters able to make ground. Gailey, this is quick hands. Skifalidi, the entertainers, the Adelaide Rams. Skifalidi taken to ground by Jackson. And now Walters away with Goldthorpe. Kicking from the halfway mark. Allen has turned around. Back to the in goal goes Jason Allen. Here come the chasers. Allen having to dive as if he was going to score a try.
Didn't he do well to get out, Andrew? He appeared to stumble. I thought he was going to get caught in the in-goal area. And even Allen has remained down on the ground as well. Don't tell me he's picked up an injury.
Sponsored by Lions Butchery. Lions Butcher's available now.
Now Cochrane. Newcastle only now back on side. Again the Boos putting pressure on Jadwat at least to check the Adelaide defensive line. And an error straight up from Mick Jenkins inside their own 20. Adelaide will have a scrum fee.
That's a diabolical mistake, that by Jenkins. You just can't afford to do that. Adelaide full of confidence now at 12 points to 4. Let's have a look at the replay. Just a straight drop it was. Took his eyes off the football. Now Adelaide with an ideal attacking opportunity.
Could have got Jackson falling on the ball in an offside position. 5-1. That handling error count would not please Mal Reilly. Rams go on the attack. Williamson, 15 metres out. Taken to ground by Allen. Right in front of the Newcastle posts. Now Walters. Swinging to the open side. Gailey up. He's already done a couple of offloads. He's only been on for a short period. Now Walters, Goldthorpe, they've scored 2 tries, the Rams so far. Walters passing, a loose one there for Appo. That put a bit of pressure on the centre. Moody up to make the tackle. 10 metres out, Walters inside for Pearce. Now 5 out, ball comes loose. Oh gee, I thought that just was coughed up. What says knocked out, maybe he got a call from the touch judge.
Ball's been banged out.
He's in pretty good position too, Andrew Jadwat there. Let's have a look at the replay. The replay will reveal what... I don't know whether I dislike referees, as you know, but I think that might have been a bit hard by Jadwat.
I think it was punched out by a player who was just going in to make the tackle. There has to be some onus on the player who's carrying the football to hang on to it. So, the bottom line to this is another chance for 2 points for Adelaide. It's close range, 15 metres out. And this kick from 15 out. For a 10-point advantage for his side. That's what it is now. Adelaide over the Newcastle Knights. 14 points to 4. Let's head to the sideline. Mike Ribble.
Andrew, just checking on Jared O'Doherty, the young man that was carried off. All players heard a crack. In actual fact, when I had a look at the replay that we showed there, Jason Moody just turned around straight away, and young Jared O'Doherty has been stretched it off, and they heard a definite crack in the kneecap area.
Well, that's even worse than what we first thought. So Adelaide back, leading by 10 here at Marathon Stadium. Their final game of the season. For Newcastle, they will head into the playoffs. But again, we remind you, Newcastle needing to win to get next weekend off. And with all the injured troops, they desperately need that extra bit of time to prepare. As Dion Bird gets over the 30-metre line. Good play the ball. Away goes Walters. The speed of the play the ball highlighted then. As Goldthorpe gets it inside Newcastle territory. Back for Bird. 30 metres out. Rams on a roll. Doherty into the ground, 20 metres out. Hick up for Walters. They're stretched here. Rams with a chance for another one. Williamson. Big tackle there from Jenkins, a try saver. Last tackle. Walters. Goldthorpe. Doherty's on his outside. Goldthorpe weaving a kick through. Back there is Rudder. And Rudder is trapped in goal. It'll be a line dropout. What an impressive set of 6 from the Rams.
Regulation by Goldthorpe. He was smart enough to put the ball into the in-goal area, and good chases by the Rams. So what they've done is they've forced another set of 6 by Newcastle. Look, there it is there. Desperately trying to get out is Sean Rudder. There it is. There's some good defence there by Adelaide, but now we see Newcastle. And I'll tell you what, they don't look too good to me. They're faced with another attacking set of 6 by Adelaide.
ready to go again. Johns with a line dropout. Big one it is too, on the fly, 50 metres. Bird fielding it, and back comes Daylight. Running across field, he'll need to straighten away from Lee Jackson. Poor attempt to tackle. It was almost as if he submitted. Good comment from Mike on the sideline.
Yeah, Andrew, one of the other interesting factors about today's game, Noel Goldthorpe about to prove a point to this Newcastle crowd, of course, was the halfback with now the defunct Hunter Mariners. And there was a fair bit of consternation between the two teams, as everyone knows. Goldie had to prove a point to the Newcastle crowd.
Williamson turning inside. Goldthorpe already signed with the Cowboys for next year. So Adelaide, in some respect, turned into a bit of a transit lounge for him. And Walters away with Goldthorpe. Coming across with Pearce running at the gap, able to offload. There is Galia, there is Goldthorpe, and on cue, Goldie gets the try for Adelaide. Their third of the day. This is quite incredible. The Adelaide Rams 18, Newcastle 4.
Is this happening? I might be dreaming, I think, but 18 points to 4 in favour of Adelaide. Here's the replay to prove it's fair dinkum. Nice wide pass there by Goldthorpe, and the offload there by Pearce. Another good offload there by Galia, and Goldthorpe. Mike Rabbit said it, he's got something to prove, and I'll tell you what, he's proved the point there because he's nailed another nail in the coffin of this Newcastle side.
Well, Galia, the 15, I don't think he's hit the deck yet. His offloads have been mounting up, and he's attracting 2 and 3 defenders every time. Goldthorpe gets his first of the season, and Eppo gets yet another kick. His 4th of the day. Started today with a tally of 126 points for the season, 16 tries and 31 goals. You can make that 35 goals now. The Rams on a roll at 20 points to 4 over the Newcastle Knights. And right at the moment, there'd be some Melbourne fans whipping this Adelaide side as hard as they can go.
Just incredible. It's just good offloads, and the defence is just not strong enough. There's the offload there, as you said, Andrew. Galia, there's Goldthorpe. Have a look how happy he is. Let's see if Newcastle can respond, and they need to. There's 10 to go before half-time.
Rams on their own 10-metre line. Rock Mueller now on for the Knights in 14. And wider with Pearce. Now Reilly's words on Rock Mueller, just a good young kid. He basically would have made the admission that before the season he'd heard of him, but he didn't really know too much about him, and certainly he really wasn't in his plans as going to be a first-grade troop. So the Rams now inside their own 30. This time the Knights are aiming up in defence. 3 in the tackle and slowing it up there on Teak. Goldthorpe, though, they're keen to spread now. Williamson, that was almost a forward ball to Grimley. Last tackle. Blindside, putting pressure on here. Daylight rushes his kick. The pass from Goldthorpe. I think that was a bad option from the Rams.
The critical thing for Newcastle is that they can't afford a panic. I know it sounds silly, but they've got to make sure they control the football. As you can hear the crowd booing, they want another penalty. Newcastle need to score.
Peter Shields runs it straight for 10 metres. Pearce is called in to add his weight to that tackle, along with Corvo and Walters. Now,
No.
just time off for a moment.
Sorry, mate, I thought you were injured. Give him back for 2.
Yeah, there's the call from Jadwat. He thought there was a problem with Peter Shields, and I think there is an injury, but not enough to hold up play for any great length of time. And now Butterfield. Well, Butterfield's headed cross-country. Almost as far as the 20. Skipper-Leedy there, along with Galia. Now Jackson, back with Gidley. On for Grief. Walters there in defence. That's a better play the ball as Jackson, that little bit of speed about the play the ball. Johns and Gidley ridden to ground on the tackle of Peak. Last it is for the Knights. Andrew Johns gets the little kick in. It's been knocked down by Walters, but knocked back is the call.
Ooh, I'd like to see the replay on that. I thought that might have been a knock-on. Walters right on the spot. He appeared to lose the ball forward. There we go again.
Here go the Rams, away again from their own 20, and Daylight in from the right wing and away from Eppo. This could be all over. Moody from behind. Eppo and brought down by Moody. Oh, that shades of earlier this year, the tackle on Ken McGuinness. Moody's done it on Eppo. The Rams 5 out. Bird holding the ball up, but still on with Jensen. Just 2 metres out from the line. Eppo is hurt after that tackle from Moody. Back it comes with Walters and Goldthorpe. Chant for the Knights to muscle up in defence. Another try here and they're just about out for the count. Walters back with Goldthorpe. Inside for Pearce. Taken high by Pinchinelli, but legitimately in the tackle. And now last. Walters back with Goldthorpe. He's thinking field goal. No, Goldthorpe. I think he's added one to the tally.
No, I reckon that's missed.
Jadwat wants to check
That's missed, no.
with the video referee. Goldthorpe's got no doubt about it.
He's saying, I reckon it missed, Jadwat. Obviously, he's looking for some assistance.
Well, we stand by. Back it comes for Goldthorpe, 15 metres out, right in front. Of course, it doesn't matter whether it was touched in flight. If it went between the sticks, it's a field goal.
That's got to be, that's a point, that, and that's clever work by Goldthorpe.
Now, hang on a second. Looks like he's headed back to halfway, or is he? No field goal. Well, of course, from our angle, it's a little hard to tell, but gee, we certainly get... I mean, Goldthorpe gave every indication it went straight through.
I tell you what, Andrew, the tackle by Moody, wasn't it a tackle? Oh, fantastic. I tell you what, we might look back on that tackle later on in this game, and it could be the tackle that could mean the difference between life or death for Newcastle.
It was round 4 when Moody length of the field chase, basically, and he trapped Ken McGuinness. One of the highlights of the year at Marathon Stadium. Tackles there, Newcastle well above the Rams. Moody is the man who gets it inside the Rams territory. Slow to clear. Andrew Johns reefing this one high. This will be pressure on Dion Bird. Cochran is leading the chase. Bird has lost it. Offside there was daylight. Penalty goes the way of Newcastle. And now the quick restart. The Knights, surely they must score. Well, there's a professional foul.
He's offside. He could go in.
Coming from an offside position to make the tackle. And it was high. Oh, it's all happening now. To quote Bill Laurie.
Got it.
I think it's Gidley, Andrew.
Gee, this is pressure on the young referee here. They're jeering like the head's been knocked into the stand. Look at the fans. They want blood.
Hey.
They want Adelaide blood.
What's the report now, bad, is it?
Is it Badeiros, maybe?
My main concern right now is with what action he's going to take here against Darian Doherty.
Tackle's on report, and you're in the bin for 10.
So the tackle on report, he's in the bin for the professional foul for making the tackle coming from an offside position when it seems certain that the Newcastle Knights would score. Gidley is the player, and the tackle has got him whooshka right across the cheekbone.
Yeah, we heard Jadwat, it was on report. No doubt, I think Doherty's got something to worry about there. Let's have another look at the angle. There's 11, bang, straight across the jaw.
Well, you want me to get dramatic? I've got to say Doherty's in a heap of trouble. One, the fact that he's come for an offside position to make the tackle. It's almost wrong to call it a professional foul because that is foul play, full stop. Penalty right in front of the sticks. Knights attacking Butterfield. He'll have a dash himself. He scored the odd 4-pointer this year. I'll tell you nothing odd about it. Goldthorpe slow to clear. Jackson up with a short pass.
Release.
Mueller just a couple of metres short of the try line. Jackson. Wide ball for Johns. Holding that ball up for Shields. Almost through. Able to offload. Jadwat is going to call it forward, is he? No. Now he's headed to the in-goal. Grant Stewart is the man who got in goal. Well, there's great confusion here.
Well, the ball appeared to go loose.
Hang on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a knock-on, but just have a look if he stole it. It's been called out.
So that's Jadwat's call. Is it stolen? Is it lost? You be the judge. Well, that's lost. And it's forward. That camera angle from in goal. Again, I think the red light will come up for Newcastle.
Well, it was Peter Shields. He just tried to push an impossible pass. That red light will pop up. There it is there. No try. It just went forward. It tried for the miracle pass.
Another thing that's happened over the last few minutes, it's got very, very dark here. Mike, how's it looking down on the sideline? Are we headed for the end of the world here or what?
Stay in now. Tony Butterfield, stay down. No.
Head back to Mike in just a moment.
No.
I think he's gone to get an umbrella, actually.
Go, Noel.
Now a scrum penalty.
Wouldn't let him get it in. There's the mark over there.
Well, it's all happening. We've got scrum penalties, Mario.
Well, this is where the frustration factor's got to be kept down. Andrew Johns, in a game about 4 or 5 weeks ago, really lost his cool with the referee. He's captain out there today. It's important that he keeps a cool head.
Number 19, Grant Stewart, sponsored by Paul Perry, Newcastle's leading horse trainer.
Goldthorpe finding the line here. Very much a relieving penalty, that one. Now inside the final 5 of this first half, and Pearce is with it. As far as the 30-metre line, now really looking as worried as he has looked at any stage this season. Skiffalini coughs it up. Fielded there by Moody.
Let's see if they can make this one count. A mistake by Adelaide. There's Jackson. He's got to be offside.
There's a game to put a second in the bin. And there's a second tackle as well. I hate to keep harping on it, but by gee, they're slow to clear the Adelaide Rams from the tackled players. 25 metres out, the Knights on the attack. Jackson up with Shields. Runner there was Grief. Shields retaining possession. Now 18 metres out. Low in the tackle was Pearce. Jackson a dummy half. Up with Johns. Then across Badderas finding support. Butterfield, quick hands. Stewart this time, surely. Sliding for the corner. Grant Stewart denied a try just a short while ago. Now he gets the 4-pointer. And what about the pass of Tony Butterfield?
Yeah, wonderful pass by Butterfield. There's Stewart there. Just a rookie scoring a try in one of his first-rate games. Nice wide passes there. Nice pass from Johns. Another pass as well there, but that pass there from Butterfield is an absolute beauty. He pins his ears back, Stewart. I'll tell you what, that's going to make him happy. Just before half-time, 20 points to 8 Newcastle.
Just watch this on the replay. What I would describe as a dusty attempted tackle on Stewart coming across. There's no effort to make the tackle with the arms, is there? Watch this. From Dion Bird it is, coming across with the knees. That could have been ugly. And Johns' kick from the sideline, well across the face. So 3 tries to 2 it is, but the margin is 12 points. 20 points to 8. Graham Mappo with the boot has landed 4 from 4. And again we look at this try, and again I highlight the attempted tackle here of Dion Bird.
Yeah, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt, Andrew. I just think he was trying to put his body on the line. His knees certainly seemed to be in the picture, but no, that didn't worry me. But Newcastle, just too many errors. Rugby league is a simple game. If you drop the football, you're going to be under pressure. And Newcastle under a lot of pressure.
So Luke Williamson has the restart. And the Newcastle Knights, fielded by Allen. And back comes Butterfield over the 20-metre line. Now Mike has returned from the dressing room. He's a favourite of the locals. He's got the red and blue umbrella up. What's the story on Matthew Gidley?
Well, Matthew Gidley is a sick and sorry boy. He's very, very heavily concussed. Peter McGee, the doctor, doesn't know whether he'll be back at this stage. He was sitting up on the bench talking to the doctor, but very, very groggy. Matthew Johns went into the dressing room to see how he was. He was absolutely filthy with the refereeing here, so there could be someone now. Here's another injury. Both the Adelaide players have called out, and this is Jackson. He's on the ground and he's in all sorts of strife.
Oh, this is just a tragedy unfolding for Newcastle. Jackson writhing in pain the moment he's tackled when he hit the deck. Corvey's waiting. The leg was twisted there by Pearce at the bottom. Let's hope it's just the shock of the unusual action on Jackson's leg here. It's twisted over.
Just keep your eyes on Pearce. And he twists his body there, Pearce. There's his head on the left-hand side there.
Oh, jeez.
And his leg's been twisted, Jackson. Let's hope he's okay, although he's taken his feet.
Yes, it's dangerous. It is a dangerous throw. All right, do you want to mark this spot? No, 12 only. Get him away. Get him away. It's a penalty.
Report against Adam Peake for a dangerous tackle.
Tackle's on report for a dangerous throw, and it's a penalty.
So there's the story from referee Jadwat. And he was calling Pearce to clear away. He wasn't the player he was concerned about with the tackle. Now, this is an earlier incident. This isn't the tackle on Jackson. This is a previous play where the touch judge has delayed his time about coming onto the field and reported Peake for a dangerous tackle. So 2 Rams players now on report. As Grief has put the ground 45 metres out from the Adelaide line. And Johns. Wider with Badderas. And inside for Pinchinelli.
They need to score here, Andrew. About 1 minute and 20 seconds to go before half-time. There's Andrew Johns. They've defended well, Adelaide. You've got to give them credit.
Take the tackler on Johns. And now Shields running it straight. I hope the field goal attempt by Noel Goldthorpe doesn't come back to haunt Adelaide at some stage in this game. There's now Johns kicking through. Bird fields it on the full. Johns would like that one over again. And now, oh, gee. Well, straight away, the touch judge is coming in to tackle on Bird. Well, I think it's Rudder who's now playing on the left side of the field who may have come in with that tackle.
Take control of these.
Touch judge had the flag straight up and he's a matter of metres away from it.
Newcastle. Number 2.
Sean Rudder, he's gone to the left wing. Now watch the challenge on Dion Bird.
There was something wrong with it.
He's ducked down Dion Bird, though. You've got to give Rudder the benefit of the doubt. This angle will give us a bit more detail. He's ducked right down to the tackle.
Monday night as well.
Penalty's sufficient. I don't think he has anything to worry about.
Here, carried.
What about the talking points coming out of this first half now? Yet another player on report. There's now 3. The worst tackle that we've seen, no doubt, was Darian Doherty's. And that's the reason Matthew Gidley's off the field at the moment. Half-time siren sounding.
Nothing silly.
So Adelaide, I think they'll be content just to take the tackle. Pearce, oh no he's not, Walters, he is. What an eventful first half of football this has been. Marathon Stadium, the venue for this round 24 clash. Listen to some of the boos of the crowd here. Jadwat, a very tricky one for him to handle. This round 24 clash, the home team in a spot of bother. 3 tries to 2 in that first half to the Adelaide Rams. And Newcastle, an injury toll to come out of it. Both O'Doherty and Gidley carried off in the first half. 3 players on report. And Adelaide and the referee and 2 touch judges, hardly the most popular people right now at Marathon Stadium. So underway, second 40 minutes. Andrew Johns is the player hitting it deep into the Rams territory. And back they come with Bird short of the 20-metre line. I noticed at half-time O'Doherty was warming up on the sideline. And straight up, an error from the Rams fullback Dion Bird. So the door opens for the Newcastle Knights. We'll be hearing from Steve Linnane shortly, but we might just stick with the action with the Newcastle Knights about to have a scrum feed where they will go on the attack inside the Rams 20.
He's dropped the cold there, Dion Bird. Ideal opportunity now. Johns feeds the scrum, goes wide.
And now Badderas bringing Cochrane into the play. It was done not with a great deal of speed, and Skifalidi was there to make the tackle. Jackson up with Piccinelli. Headed across field, but peaked there, ball and all in defence. The Rams still down to 12 with Doherty in the sin bin. Now turning back inside. Allen angling his run, the ball dribbled out, and they're still able to attack though with Stewart. Now just 2 metres short of the try line. They trail by 20 points to 8. Here's a penalty to the Knights.
Hold, no, hold.
Well, there could be a play going to the bin, will there?
But what about Jadwat? They're looking to get the play pushed over quickly, Newcastle. They've got the advantage. He's taken the advantage off Newcastle now.
All right, get your hand off.
Oh, maybe it was time to issue a last caution with the Rams. They creep off the goal line. Jackson throws it away for Johns. Second man play brings Badderas into the line. Walters comes over the top to make the tackle. Looking dangerous again, the Knights. Infield with Shields. Able to slip an offload on this occasion. Now 5 out. The crowd surprisingly not as vocal as I would have thought, considering where the Knights are on the field with grief. Right in front of the Rams posts. Jackson, they're set to the right. John's first receiver. Gidley, a reminder, he's off the field of the Rams. Moody got straight past Jensen it was. He left behind. Just a metre short of the try line. Now the Knights, scrappy play the ball. Last tackle for Newcastle. Andrew Johns come up with, he's standing deep. Back it comes with Johns. He'll try the crossfield kick. The man under pressure is Daylight. He's lost it. Fielded there by Bird. No offside in goal. So it'll be a line drop out for Adelaide. Let's quickly go down to the sideline. Mike Rabinas with Steve Linnane.
Football. Yeah, they threw caution to the wind. I suppose they've got nothing to lose, but Malcolm said at half-time that we wanted to make sure we completed as many sets as possible and played the game down the other end, which is the way it started in the second half.
You've been in this position a few times this year, having to come from behind.
Yeah, they have. The boys they know they have to play with plenty of patience and composure. The crowd's cheering them up, and I'm sure we'll get home.
O'Doherty and Gidley won't be back?
Gidley won't be back. I'm sure about that, but O'Doherty's on the bench if Mal needs him.
Steve, all the best for the second half. Of course, the senior players here have got to step up.
They have to, Mal. There's a lot of youth out there. We need them guys to step up too and show their enthusiasm.
All right, Steve, all the very best for the second half.
Thanks, Mike.
Steve Lane talking to us, Andrew, and they're pretty confident that they're going to get up here, but they've got some work to do.
Well done, Mike. The Knights on the attack, 15 metres out from the Rams line. Jackson up with Andrew Johns. Johns unloading there and put down by Stewart. Plenty of harassment from the defence, and Stewart wasn't able to hang on to it.
Here's the replay there. This Adelaide side showing remarkable composure in defence. Another mistake there, and how many have they had today in this game, Newcastle? Adelaide, very plucky performance. Coach Dean Lance, I'll tell you what, he'd be very happy with his side at half-time.
Goldthorpe across with Daylight. Put the ground by Johns. And now Kerrod Walters up with Doherty. Backslam there in the tackle. Rudder had come in off the wing. I think he may well be playing in the setters. With Stewart out on the right wing and Cochrane on the left. He's playing left setter, Rudder. There's now Pearce. Carries as far as the halfway mark. Last tackle. The Enterprise has gone out of the Rams' play since half-time. Goldthorpe putting that kick in. One observation would be that the Rams are playing trying to defend their lead. As Stewart goes straight through the first line in the second to halfway. Grant Stewart for the Knights. Now they get vocal, the fans. And away with Rudder. And back fielded by Grief. He gets a push along from Jackson saying, straighten up, boy. Line break so far in this first 50 minutes of play. 5-all, the Knights and the Rams, and now the Rams are caught offside. Crowd was building for that penalty. Medeiros wants to get things underway quickly. It was the penalty. There's no way they were back for 10. And the Knights, Medeiros took the tap.
I'll tell you what, Adelaide are able to cope with whatever Newcastle are throwing at them. They're not overawed. Adelaide, whilst they're on the bottom of the competition table, they've got no problems handling Newcastle. Andrew Johns is going to get it on the left-hand side.
And here he is. Johnny Johns turning inside with a pass. He found the mark with Lomax. Andrew Johns, 5 metres out. And collected. So the playmaker is the man playing it. Jackson up for Shields. Not able to offload. Pearce is there in defence. Mountain of work from Pearce for the Adelaide Rams. Last tackle, back with Johns. They'll try a low kick this time. Bird gets across. It bounced up nicely for Bird. But equally good the defence by Sean Rudder to force Bird in goal.
Wasn't that a great tackle by Rudder? And it had to be made. Now we see the Adelaide side. There's the replay. Desperately trying to get out his Bird. Rudder, what a great tackle that is. Because what that does now, that pushes Adelaide into defending their set of 6 again. Newcastle desperately trying to score a try. Gee, 6 points to be handy at this stage of the game. 30 minutes to go before full time.
One of Australia's leading advertising agencies.
Newcastle. Back they come with another set of 6. No change to the half-time score of 20 points to 8. Butterfield copped the first tackle. Well, was that a forward ball there to Pinchinelli? Taken to ground by Corvo. Now inside the Rams 30. Jackson, blindside. John switches play. Medeiros. Suddenly he becomes one of the playmakers. Allen is the man on the inside ball. Doherty is there in defence for the Rams, and still they are trapped on that 30-metre line. Sloppy play the ball from Allen. Shields attracting 2 defenders. They do well. Keegan Walters in defence. Now Jackson. Medeiros. Johns is there on an inside pass. They're trying. Not opening up though, the Adelaide defence. There was no way through for Mueller. Now Johns, last tackle, right foot kick. This time it's Appo at the back. He has to kick it dead in goal. They'll get a 3rd set of 6 attacking the Rams line.
Appo, it looked like it was going to be a try. Appo You can see him hobbling there. Andrew Johns, deft little kick in the goal. Appo fumbles. Try time, but he's able to get a boot to it. Didn't they need a try there? There's the ball bouncing along the ground there. Appo fumbles and was able to get a boot to it.
I think Appo would leave play. So if I had it over again, I would just try and kill the ball. He was trying to probably pick up and take off. He took the risk and almost paid the price of at least 4 points. So another line drop out, a second one.
The loss of Gidley's, it really hurts this Newcastle side. They've become very predictable. I know it's hard to say that about any Newcastle side, but there's a nice run by Grief.
Oh, look at Glenn Grief charge through. He left Andrew Hick behind. In fact, he left his footprint on his face. As Jackson up for Badderas. Nice handwork there for Butterfield. 5 metres out from the line. Jackson in a dummy half. Badderas is first receiver at the moment. Over the head of Johns. It's fielded here. There's a chance with Rudder. 10 metres out from the Rams line. Now 5 and still going. And put the ground in there as daylight to wrap up the ball. Cochrane a dummy half. Johns. He conjure up something for the Newcastle Knights. They've reached the last tackle. This is their third consecutive set of 6. Jackson back for Johns. This time they'll test the wing of Jensen. Plenty of chases there. Clean grab for Stewart. They've been ruled onside, have they? Stewart's the man who came up with a clean take. They're going to go to the video referee. I think they'll check to see if Stewart firstly is onside and was there any illegal tackle on Jensen.
You said it, Andrew. Third consecutive set of 6, and Adelaide had no problems. They were really handling whatever Newcastle threw at them. A nice kick by Andrew Johns. A pinpoint accurate kick. How tough is this to defend against? Goes up in the air. Oh, that's a try for mine.
Well, there's no doubt they're onside, but watch Moody. Does he take Jensen out? I've got to say he does. There's no way Moody's going for the football. This is a very tough call for the video referee. They're onside, no drama. But Moody, the number 3, is he going for the football, or does he just take Jensen out of the play?
No, I think that's a try, Andrew.
It's a green light for Stewart. I'm still not entirely convinced, but to put it in horse racing analogy, there wasn't enough interference to overturn the result in the eyes of the video referee.
Read the paper tomorrow, Andrew. Here's the replay again. Lovely kick by Andrew Johns, right on the line. They've got the advantage. Nice try there, and didn't come in a nick of time. 27 minutes to go now. Can't he play Andrew Johns, but he's one out at the moment. Gidley's off the park.
Oh, I think I've got to bring Mike Rabbit in on this one. I know he's dyed in the wool Newcastle, but were you convinced there was going to be a green light right from the word go?
I was a little bit like Mario. When I first saw it, I thought Jason Moody may have interfered there, but he did have his eyes on the ball. He knew that he was falling and out of position, and I certainly do think it was unintentional.
So now it's at the unusual situation of 3 tries all, but the margin is 8 points. Andrew Johns unsuccessful again. All his kicks have been from out wide. There's Luke Williamson, starts us up again. We do have a contest. We'll get down to the championship rounds of this match.
Well, now the sun's come out, Andrew, and I can see a rainbow in the background. There's Grief.
I thought you were going to give us a poem there as Grief gets it to halfway. You're sounding like Yanni as the Newcastle Knights get inside the Rams half. Badderas, cut-out ball there for Johns. Here they come with Rudder. 40 metres from the Rams line. Williamson comes over the top. All the atmosphere of a semi-final. Now Johns up for Shields. Just not convinced Shields is 100% right at the moment. There's been a few times he's got to his feet slowly. He's not hitting the line at any great speed as the Rams get penalised again for holding down, and again Newcastle denied the chance for the quick tap.
The referee's got to let him take the advantage. That puts more and more pressure on Adelaide. We saw the first half, Adelaide had the majority of possession. Here comes Grief again.
Well, at what point does a Rams player go to the bin for holding down a Newcastle player while the Knights are on the attack? 9-6 the penalty count as Shields carries inside the 20. Set left and right. Johns is to the right side of the ruck. Badderas to the left. Johns with a switch of play. Now Badderas. With him is Pinchinelli, the inside ball. He got away from Hick. Pinchinelli wrestles free of one. It was Doherty he left behind. Jackson, 10 metres out. Jackson taken there by Goldthorpe. Good tackle by the Rams, number 7. The Knights still on the attack with Johns. There is Butterfield. Johns is through. Then for Medeiros, just a metre short of the try line. Last tackle, Johns, quick hands, up it comes and put down by Rudder. It'll be a changeover.
Yeah, they panicked there, Newcastle. We see a penalty now. He's thrown the ball away, the Newcastle player. And Adelaide breathed a huge sigh of relief. They haven't had the football for, it seems, an age, this Adelaide side. There's the penalty there. Yeah, just a straight-out drop. This Adelaide side finally get the football. Goldthorpe walks to the mark. They're just trying to take their time now. Trying to suck it in.
Well, I made the comment earlier, Mario, I know Adelaide under huge defensive pressure at the moment, but when they've had the ball, I was just a little concerned that they're trying to defend their lead rather than take it a little bit further. It
was interesting, Michael Bitt had the assistant coach from the Adelaide Rams, and one of the things that stood out for mine was the fact that he said he didn't want them to go into their shell. And it does appear that they're playing a bit more conservative, and that was the secret of their first half. Lost ball there, that's play on. Newcastle got the football.
One-on-one steal on Mark Corvo. Pinchinelli came away with it, so this roll continues. And Glenn Grief playing it for Jackson. Oh, not a good pass from Jackson. Johns, then back for Butterfield. 25 metres out. Here in defence was Jamie McDonald. Andrew Johns passing across for Medeiros. Second man play brings Moody into the action. Appo was up in defence. There's another player not 100% out there right at the moment. He's favouring his left knee. As the Knights. I think the next player who holds down will be headed off to the sin bin. I've just got a feeling Jadwat will take some sterner action. Last tackle, Jackson. Away for Johns. Little kick. Angled back across field. Bird has lost it right on the goal line. Now forced in goal. Yet another line drop out for the Adelaide Rams. Bird looked up as if he was about to say a prayer, saying, please, give me the ball.
Lux appears to be swinging around. Johns fakes his one way, kicks another. Bird just juggles the football. And that's Medeiros. Hasn't he had a game in this second half, Medeiros? Another set of 6 for Newcastle.
Clever kick from Johns. Heart and mouth stuff from Dion Bird. Went 50 on the fly. Pinchinelli trying to muster up some strength for the sprint back. He was only in a trot, really, as now Jackson up with Butterfield. Skifalidi is there in defence. They're 30 metres out. Jackson, line-side with Moody. Good run from Jason Moody, making 15 metres. Headed for the sideline. Appo there in defence with Jensen. And now a full width of the field to work with. Medeiros. Up and away with Grief. He bounced away from Galia. He got away from Corvo. He's got away from 4. Glenn Grief has scored a sensational try. Powerhouse effort from Grief. The Knights have their 4th try. He had no right to score.
They've had a lot more football in this second half, Newcastle. He's built like a snooker ball, this bloke. I'll tell you what, here it is here. It seemed like a regulation hit-up. Nice putt to take up there. Bounces off one, bounces off another. They just can't stop him. Another tackle there broken. Hasn't he had a game there, Grief? And isn't that try important? 20 points to 16.
Let's count them. Past McDonald, past Corvo, past Skifalidi, and goodbye to Jensen as Grief scores a super try for the Newcastle Knights. The Knights now have scored 4 tries to Adelaide's 3, and Johns is well wide again. Cannot find the mark. 20 points to 16. It was 20 points to 8 at half-time. The Rams, 4 tries, no goals to Andrew Johns. And this one is as good a try as you'll see from a front rower.
He steps off his left foot, goes back towards the sideline, just keeps bumping players off. I tell you what, he'll get a lot of pressure from that. He's brought Newcastle back into this game now at 20 points to 16. 20 minutes to go before full time. Let's see what Adelaide are made of now.
Williamson restarting and out on the full. Well, Micah a bit on the sideline. Is Adelaide's side, they are starting to come undone.
One of the things, Andrew, at halftime that Steve Linane said, let's have a look at the replay here, and he's well wide, the 5'8", and Williamson, and that's out, and that's a bad blue. But Steve said that the senior players for the Newcastle Knights had to step up. In their second half, Glenn Grief is having an absolute blinder. Neil Pinchinelli's lifted his work rate. Also, Lee Jackson's doing some good work from dummy half, and the senior players are taking the lead in this Knights outfit.
A hefty share of possession too. There have been, what is it now, 3 line dropouts from Adelaide in the second half. So repeat set a number of times for Newcastle. And Andrew Johns, 30 metres out, putting the pass up, and that one put down by Allen. Let off for the Rams. They're back in possession. Have they got the energy levels to get some bright attacking play after such a defensive workload?
What Newcastle can't afford to do now is to let them off the hook, to piggyback them out of their own end with a penalty. Newcastle need to make sure they're onside and make sure that Adelaide have to work to a kick.
This is Galia, headed across field. Moody in defence there for Newcastle. Walters up with Skifalidi, on for Goldthorpe. He wants a runner. Williamson is flat-footed. We haven't seen much of the young 5'8" today in attack. Excellent tackle from Andrew Johns. Goldthorpe, quick play there for Walters. Now offloading for Daylight. Daylight's kick. Not much room to move, and he's got it perfectly straight. I'd like to hit a golf ball that straight. He only had 1 metre in from the touch line, and when it went over the dead ball line, it was still 1 metre in from touch.
Bit of a panicky set of 6 by Adelaide. They haven't had the football for a long time. Their first set of 6. Looking a little bit conservative as we see Newcastle desperately trying to force that play the ball.
Mick Jenkins to the 40-metre line. Paul Harrigan. Intense look on his face watching this one. As the Knights rally, they trailed by 12 at half-time. The deficit is now 4 points. Lomax is with it. 40 metres out from the Rams line. Jackson. Jenkins wants another hit up. It's his second in this set of 6. And put down by Pearce. Last tackle, the boozer for the Adelaide side, perhaps not being back for 10. Johns, his bomb is off the side of the boot. The chasers onside. Johns puts them onside. Good play. Jenkins gets his first career kick in. It's a good one. Burners on the chase back for the Rams, and no chances at all on Mick Jenkins. What a kick.
What a kick. I don't think he's ever kicked in his life, but it was a perfectly placed kick. Right in the in-goal area. Here it is here. There's Jenkins, who's actually made a great impact. Kicks the football perfectly weighted. Then it becomes a foot race. Newcastle desperately trying to pin them into the in-goal area. And Newcastle get another attacking set of 6.
And now another line dropout. And here they come, the Knights. They have to rally again. And losing the ball on the first tackle. Butterfield went the ground without it, so the Rams are in possession.
He's in trouble, Butterfield. Very wobbly. Oh, he's working his way back.
And here is Galia for Adelaide. It'd be an anti-climax for the comeback if the Rams can somehow manufacture a try here. Appo is wide. Johns is low in the tackle. The Rams are unfamiliar with this part of the field. Skifalidi, 40 metres out from the Knights line. Moody is there in defence with Butterfield. He's recovered. Skifalidi is injured. Goldthorpe with it for the Rams. Up then for Peake. There's a gap there for Peake. Just didn't have the speed to exploit the territory that had opened up. Pinchinelli was around his legs. Now Doherty. Back with Walters. Spinning. That's been knocked down by Galia. Newcastle ball. Galia wasn't anticipating the offload. Newcastle back with it. Rudder. Now offloading with Allen. If you missed it earlier, Matthew Gidley was knocked out in the first half. A high tackle from Darian Doherty. As here's the drop ball from the Adelaide Rams. Galia put it down. In the meantime, Newcastle Knights have made a rush up the right side. And now on the attack, 30 metres out, Baderis and Johns combined. Johns picking up Shields. Getting the play, turning back for Johns.
What about this crowd, Andrew? They are up on their feet, desperately trying to see Newcastle finally hit the front in this game. Adelaide have held the lead for the entire match. Newcastle in a pretty good attacking position now. There's Johns.
You saw the stat, 8-5. The line breaks to the Knights, and now Moody drops it. Drops it cold, as a matter of fact. 20-16, 15 remaining. And here's the drop ball of Jason Moody. No real excuses. The pass maybe a fraction high, but should have been taken. 11-4, the handling error count. Not the one you want to be in front on. Newcastle 11 errors so far in this match. And now Williamson, inside ball, he's lost it. Was that reefed out? No, says referee Jadwat, so play on for Newcastle. Up with Miller, Pinchinelli, back with Jenkins, stepping into the defence. Doherty is low, over the top is Hick. 25 metres out from the Rams line. Now with Lomax, having talked up the effort of Newcastle, if the Rams hang on, this is some sort of courageous performance. Jackson, all the attackers with the Knights, and at the right end of the park. Now Badeiras a dummy half, he goes himself, Denny Badeiras off the post and in to score. Denny Badeiras scores for the Newcastle Knights. He was prepared to conquer all to score as well. You'll see it again, he ricochets off the posts, and we're all square at 20 all. 5 tries Newcastle have scored. I'll tell you what, Johns will get his first kick of the day.
He's been one of the finds of the season, Badeiras. There's been a lot of responsibility put on his shoulders, and he's responded. Finally, Newcastle, it appears they'll hit the lead. Just a dummy half run, remarkably quick, strong, hits the post, and he's over. And Newcastle cheer.
Johns, the kick to put them in front for the first time today. Right in front. There's the two they've been waiting for. Newcastle in front in this sea of red and blue around Marathon Stadium. The flag sellers have done well today. Andrew Johns trots back, his side up by 2, and well worth looking at the strong arm effort again of Denny Badeiras.
And the quick play the ball, Players like Jared Doherty, Brock Mueller going forward. There he is there, Malcolm Reilly. In his last official game as the coach throughout the premiership.
Is that what he would have said too? Don't lose your composure, lads. That was what the sign said, and Newcastle keeping it together, but with plenty of possession. Knights 15 out from their own line. Now Jackson. Trying to quickly rush out of that danger zone with Evan Cochran. Back in field with Grief. I'll remember his try for a long time. Charged over the top of 4 players to score. And now Jackson back up for Lomax. Only linked with the club mid-season. Another player that's proving valuable. And Jackson back with Johns. Kicking from inside the 40 and before the last. Not his deepest kick. The chasers are there, and Bird is with it for Adelaide. He's been under pressure in the second half. Now Daylight.
Let's see if Adelaide can respond. They've led this match the whole way through, and now finally Newcastle lead the game. That's great defence. They've come out of line. It was Badeiras again.
I've got to say, I think Adelaide's out on their feet. Here's McDonald. There's too much. The ask in defence. And now 11 minutes remaining. And playing a side that is desperate to win, to get that week off next week. Win or lose, really, it won't count too much to the Adelaide Rams. Their season is over. As Hickers brought down just inside Newcastle territory, but they've used up 5 of 6. Goldthorpe kicking from halfway. He was tackled after kicking. That was okay. And here is Jason Allen. A slip and then back to his feet, and he's away over the 20.
What about some of the young players that have come in? Allen, you mentioned Allen, Badeiras, Lomax, Grant Stewart, Mike Jenkins, all have been thrown into the fray. And I'll tell you what, very important game today for Newcastle. 2 valuable competition points. 10 minutes to go before full time. They're not home yet, Newcastle.
Coming up to the final 10. Neil Pinchinelli's tackle counters. Over the 20 markers. Moody is away. He has support inside and out. Moody, 30 metres out and away from Jensen. Now it's Andrew Johns, and away goes the crowd hero. You couldn't script it any better, and Andrew Johns has every right to dance. You can call it the Johns jig, because that's what he's just done. 26 points to 20.
Yeah, well done, Andrew Johns. 26 points to 20. Finally, they can probably breathe a sigh of relief. That's Moody. Great footwork by Moody. Beats one. Shows great composure. Holds the football. Nice pass on the inside to Andrew Johns. And watch, he gets over. And let's see the little dance. He puts a little dance on as well. It's a pass by Johns. Nice wide pass. He moves well on his feet, does Moody. Really sums up the situation well. Beats another tackle there. Another one there. Now, nice inside pass to Andrew Johns. Really had a great game, Andrew Johns. Always on the spot. Badderas and Johns have been the best. There he is there. He's showing a bit of a dance. He's happy.
The big day of local rugby league and the #1 sports ground tomorrow.
This kick can put the Rams to bed. The margin is 6 at the moment. 19 metres out, 15 in from touch. Andrew Johns. Oh, he dots the I's and he crossed the T's with that kick. His brother liked it as well. And now the margin is 8. And that, I dare say, is a winning one.
Nice wide pass there. There's Moody again. Moves very well on his feet. They've played very well, Adelaide. They've had no possession over the last 20 minutes. Just too much football to Newcastle. There's Andrew Johns, the Newcastle captain. Great lead now, 28 points to 20. And Andrew, I think they're gone, Adelaide.
And for the first time today, I agree with you. So Newcastle, Butterfield it was who hit it up from the kickoff. And the Knights with Mueller. Plenty of good players. Jason Moody, one of them. Denny Badderas, outstanding. Still character to come back and against the odds and with an injury-depleted side. I know they've had plenty of possession. But put it this way, they've earned the break next week if they win this one. Last tackle for the Knights, just inside the Adelaide half. Jackson back with Andrew Johns. Still the man steering them around. He's kicked straight down the centre of the field. Dion Bird. His last game. And he's certainly been the centre of attention a number of times. He's been hurt in this tackle. Badderas got up there with rudder. And Dion Bird hasn't got back to his feet. Here's the tackle. Looked a good solid hit from rudder over the top.
I think he's twisted his ankle, Andrew. Let's see if this side of the replay will show us a tangle of legs there, and he's gone back on his knee there. You can see the grimace of pain. Badderas hasn't he had a game, Badderas.
We also remind patrons, it is
a tangle of bodies there.
Or liquor from Marathon Stadium. Please don't go home yet.
Dion Bird, he's copped a couple of decent whacks today, and this is a tragic end to his season. The last game of the season, he's been stretched it off. Certainly not the way to finish the season, but Adelaide are playing a little bit wounded, allowing Knights to make those easy yards. But by gee, haven't they had some possession?
Well, I think you're right, Mike, and I think the players, if they are injured, and there's no doubt about it, Appo has been struggling, but because it's the last game of the season, you don't want to go off. You know you've got plenty of time to recover before your next game. There's now another turnover from the Rams, and you can smell a try. Even though we're a long way from the action, you're getting the scent of another 4-pointer. Or is it Mario? Here's Butterfield. Taken to ground by Corvo. And now Jackson, a dummy half, 15 metres out from the line. Lomax, he carries it to the 10-metre line. Plenty of determination there from Lomax. Jackson, a dummy half. Back to the left side. Badderas really spirals that pass for Johns. Johns is through and then put down by Cochrane.
Wasn't that brilliant work by Johns? Caught the ball, had two players on him, was able to offload a pretty good football there, and Cochrane is kicking himself. Lost the football there. He probably should have taken that. Watch this for a bit of play. That's Johns, two on him, one hand, and that pass should have been taken.
Don't forget all Knights fans.
Cochrane, the player, putting that down.
Wednesday, September 2nd.
So, by courtesy of this victory, I think the match they're next scheduled to play, their first one in the playoffs, will be 2 weeks from today. In fact, it may even be the Saturday night game against the winner of 3rd versus 6th. So, if Parramatta was to win tomorrow, it would be Parramatta in 3rd position, would it not? So it may be a case for the Eels somewhere down the track, but a lot to be unravelled over the next couple of weekends.
Haven't they suffered some injuries, this Newcastle side? We saw Gidley leave the field with concussion. Matthews Johns is due back. So many injuries. Paul Harrigan, will he play again this season? Can Newcastle win the competition again? Last year we saw them defeat Manly. There's Jackson.
Goldthorpe's kick, straight into the arms of the Englishman. Go, lad, go! Lee Jackson sprints away to score. 5 minutes remaining. Well, he hasn't always been a favourite with some of the Newcastle people, but they're cheering him right now. Lee Jackson is racing away to score that try, and 32-20 it is.
Yeah, he's had his critics, Lee Jackson. He spent a fair bit of time in reserve grade. To his credit, though, he's fought his way back. That'll give him a lot of pleasure. Lee Jackson was right on the spot. Here it is here. It's a kick by Goldthorpe. Jackson right on the spot. Shows remarkable pace here, Jackson. And he pins his ears back, desperately trying to get to the line. Nice try there. That's a nice try to give Lee Jackson some confidence. And he's had a great game today. Very good out of dummy half.
Goldthorpe trying to kick and it comes unstuck. The sharp hands of Lee Jackson. And watch the eyes here on the run to the try line. Stretching, looking for every little bit of petrol that's in the tank. And he gets the 4-pointer. Lee Jackson.
Here at the stadium.
Only his second of the season. And Johns gets another kick. Well, the try tally's going to look impressive. They've now scored 7, the Newcastle Knights, 7-3. After the Rams led 20 points to 4. And here is Johns. Adding 2, like shelling peas, that one for Andrew Johns. Cheergirls have had a busy second half. Back-to-back is the T-shirts they're selling here in the Hunter. 34-20. 20 points to 8 it was at half-time. Watch this kick again of Noel Goldthorpe. It never got above shoulder height on Lee Jackson.
The head-on shot's the key. Watch Jackson, he's straining, desperately trying to get over the line. He doesn't get over for too many, but there it is there. Nice smile on his face. 34 points to 20 now, Newcastle.
And I think the crowd wants another one. They're not satisfied yet.
I think you're right.
They've seen 7 from the home team. Adelaide is down on the canvas. The doctor's been called. And they still want another one.
I can see Joey Johns, Andrew Johns in the background. I think he might be just winded, but would that be a catastrophe? Oh, hello, he's starting to limp. He's being escorted from the field.
Well, Mike, for a bit, how'd you see it on Andrew Johns?
Well, Jason Moody and Andrew Johns collided. There he is on the screen. They're saying get him off because they certainly need him for the finals. But it was great to see on that Lee Jackson try, Andrew. Andrew Johns and Lee Jackson haven't seen eye to eye. They came out side by side when they run out of the tunnel at the start of the game. And Andrew Johns came up and gave him a big hug, and that was fantastic. Andrew Johns coming off now.
No chances, no risk. He'll have a fortnight to recover if there is any problem there for Andrew Johns. And would you believe Jared O'Doherty, the young man who was stretched off in the first half, now returns. What a game he's had. What an afternoon he's had. See, he was only on for 3 or 4 minutes before he was stretched off. So the Rams are with it. Kerrod Walters takes off from dummy half. They've been in the Newcastle half for but fleeting moments in this second half.
Square up.
It's been a real dogfight for them. Noel Goldthorpe now getting the pass away for Grimley. I've hardly had to call him an attack in the second half. Daylight chipping over the top of Allen and the ball trickles over the sideline.
Yeah, they've been gallant in defeat, this Adelaide side. The score's starting to flatten Newcastle, 34 points to 20. The real game statistics tell a different tale. Adelaide at one stage led 20 points to 4. There's the kick there.
Countdown today to Newcastle.
Bounces out. Newcastle, today's game on the back of players like Allen, Badera, Lomax, players we haven't heard of. They've stood up today.
No wait.
And a head count on the Adelaide players. We understand there's only 4 players who'll be backing up for the Rams next season. So if you're an Adelaide fan, you might want to get a photo of the last few minutes just to try and remember the faces of some of these blokes.
You're actually quite humorous today.
Just looking at you makes me laugh.
Thank you.
Here's Newcastle, just outside their 20. Butterfield, back inside for Moody. I think Jason Moody's been outstanding today. We wouldn't describe him as a first-choice centre at the club, but he's been very dangerous today. And back now with Shields. Just inside the Adelaide half. Final 60 seconds now underway in this match. Badera's kicking. Turning Appo around. Appo able to trap it almost with the back of his leg. And put the ground by the kicker of the football. We've given plenty of raps to so far today. Comes up with Goldthorpe. Inside his own 10. Why not attack? Grimley is with it. Inside there for Daylight. Newcastle defence scrambling. Daylight shows us his speed and then stumbles short of the 40-metre line.
Ready for the big countdown, Newcastle.
Kerrod Walters. Up with Corvo and then on with Peake.
Here we go.
Wider still with Pearce and McDonald. It looked a forward pass and it's called that way. So that is where we will finish the Adelaide run for 1998. And Newcastle, your finals bound. What a comeback. 20 points to 4 they trailed. And they run out winners of this one by 34 points to 20. And Newcastle Knights, they came to Marathon Stadium today with the objective of earning a week off at the start of the finals campaign. And they got a big fright, but they will have next weekend off and give some of their injured troops time to recover. And hopefully they'll be there for week 2 of the finals.